is Barker. That's a hat. Hello.
And it looks like, are we going to game 3 here?
We're going to game 3 right now.
Okay,
we're going
great.
to game 3 right now. Daniel Miller on your left with Miracles. Alexander Barker on your right with Goblins.
Classic battle.
It's a long match.
Goes all the way back.
Yeah. All right, I'm looking up Walking Atlas right now.
Endless Atlas.
Thank you, not Walking Atlas. I know what that one does. So many cards in this game. Can't know them all. Commander 2018 product. You nailed that part. Looks like Daniel showing off his hand to the camera before sending it back because no one shows their hand to the camera and then keeps. That does not happen.
That's not true. There's the player who won with Burn and that
open. Don't remind me of that open.
Like
that was
6 years ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was tough to watch. That was during the.
It wasn't tough. It wasn't tough to watch. He made his hand extremely visible to us the whole time.
The Wild West days. Okay, 2 mana. Oh, there it is. 2 mana. 2 tap. Draw a card. Activate this ability only if you control 3 or more lands with the same name.
And Daniel Miller's build here of Miracles is very basic land heavy. Playing a main deck copy of 2 main deck copies of Back to Basics. So, not too hard for him to do this through Islands.
Get him. Okay, Vile's good. I was hoping for Lackey, but we'll see if Vile resolves, as Goblin is the name, of course, with Cavern of Souls. All right, Vile in. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Very good against Miracles. We'll get some big dice out here. Daniel, thinking Flooded Strand, it looks like. Pass the turn back. Vile up to 1. Go to Alexander Barker. 5-0 with the Goblins. That's a Wooded Foothills. We'll see what Barker's going to get here.
Do either of us have Expedition?
Yes, one of us has Expedition for sure.
I have Invocation, so it's probably you.
Expedition on the battlefield. Ship it. Thank you. It was very nice of you. I need Blind Hit with Cabal Therapy for the win. Disenchant that. Beta?
Yes.
Nice. You have the beta ones in your blue-white deck or alpha?
I do.
You have beta?
Beta.
Okay. Activate Vile. Nothing to put on the battlefield. Vile now gone, which means Goblins has to play a lot more fair now. So we're going to go over to Alexander Barker here in just a moment. Rashad important hand among other options there for Barker. He's going to sacrifice a fetch and play a Matron through the Cavern, I assume. Search up a land. And then, what else? Now, generally in spots like this, you'll find a ringleader. There it is.
Yep. In this sort of matchup, from Barker's perspective, it's less about finding one thing that's awesome and more about finding just a steady stream of stuff to work with.
Ponder time. Here for Daniel Miller. Take a look at the top 3 cards. I believe Terminus among them. And it looks like those are going to stay. Draw a card. Island. And now we're going to head back over to Alexander. Barker will draw. Rashad and Port is what he's thinking, but it's actually going to be a fetch instead. So it'll be another mountain here for Barker. And now there's the ringleader through the Cavern. Trigger. Incinerator is 1. Rashad and Port is 2. Goblin War Chief is 3. Tarfire, yes, is 4. Tarfire probably still in the deck because Monastery Mentor check.
Yeah, Miller has one in his hand right now, in fact.
There you go.
So.
That's why that's still in there. Also, you can find it with Goblin Matron because it is a Goblin instant for you Lorwyn fans out there. There's the attack. A War Chief.
All 28 of you.
That's right. And Matron coming in. There's the Tar Fire. Deals 2 damage to target creature or player. It's a shock that pumps Tarmogoyfs. Can be tutored for. Pretty cool card. That was my answer to Deathrite Shaman back in the day.
Yeah.
I think we know who won out there. Tarfire didn't get banned.
Still living, homies.
Yeah. still out here doing its thing. That's how I knew it was time to give up on goblins.
Yeah. I might suck, but you're banned.
Yeah. Here's a brainstorm for Miller. 2 cards are going back. Daniel's going to untap. No draw for his turn. He's picked up a Plains. Looks like he has a Wasteland to deploy. Is that a Wasteland? No, it's an Arid Mesa. Be shocked if Miracles was playing any copies of Wasteland.
We're back to basics in the deck.
Yeah, it's not so much about that as we go back over to Alexander. He'll draw a card. He'll play a Rashadan Port. Keep in mind, Miller's top card of his library right now is Terminus. Follow-up to War Chief. Right now, there's an attack for 5. Miller is going to sack the fetch with it on the stack. Play Snapcaster. Ooh, that's a red blast.
And I think the setup that Miller was going here was Snapcaster, Brainstorm, and then Terminus right now. Takes a pretty big hit there.
And he just doesn't even search for the land.
No, he can't do that now.
Yeah,
because the Terminus
he
is still
needs
the
the
top
Terminus.
card.
Yeah. Brutal. Now there's a land, and now there's a... How?
Yeah.
Yeah, that can't happen.
What? Yeah. Well,
He just didn't crack, but he didn't crack the fetch. It certainly looked like he did.
yeah, I mean, he was on 4 mana, and he drew the Terminus.
I mean, if if the players agree,
Yeah.
but that certainly didn't look correct.
I mean, he had 4 mana last turn, so if he had a land in his hand, he was good.
He did, but it looked like he cracked the fetch land. He looked like he cracked the fetch land Snapcaster Maged first. Maybe that was him just demonstrably moving it over to the other side.
So he played Snapcaster Mage, it got Pyroblasted.
Correct.
He drew for his turn, it was Terminus.
Yeah.
He played it.
Yep.
Still has 3 mana left over.
Correct, and plays a land.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But it looked like he cracked the fetch before the Snapcaster Mage. That's what it looked like on his previous turn.
Yeah, it was a little weird, but I think we're clear here.
Okay. Well, there's a ringleader.
I think we're going to see Tar Fire plus a Ringleader attack here take care of the Jace.
You bet. And Jace will die.
So a little awkward, but we're good.
Yep. Daniel will play another Terminus, putting Ringleader on the bottom. And now here's a fetch.
And you mentioned this before about Goblins being sort of a creature control deck. And you're saying, in terms of card advantage, like who's hanging around in a deep game, Barker's doing much better than Miller is.
Yes. Miller's got a Monastery Mentor now, and not a ton to do with it. So we're going to head back over to Barker now, who is without that Tar Fire. Use that to kill a Jace, but he's the one with the full hand. And part of the reason that Goblins is able to go toe-to-toe here is because Terminus puts the creatures back in the deck. It actually doesn't kill them, put them in the graveyard. So cards like Goblin Ringleader, when they're Terminus, okay, I mean, it's kind of inconvenient, but I can just keep using them. So here's a Swords of Plowshares on the token. In response, going to cycle Incinerator again.
Yeah, so this way he has 2 Goblins through this.
Mm-hmm.
Miller will end up with a Monk First Trouble, but the Mentor will be taken care of.
Correct.
And Barker's going to draw 2 cards.
Correct. And there are the 2 cards.
So full hand here for Barker. Just easily winning the card economy game.
And no cards for Miller.
Yeah, empty-handed.
Legitimately no cards. So he's going to need one heck of a top deck. This is where a card like Entreat the Angels is actually pretty good. Or your Baneslayers or Lyra Dawnbringers. Instead, Force of Will was the draw, and Force of Will is a card that is good against Goblins in the very early turns, but not very good past that.
Yeah, if the game is shaping, we sort of bounce off of each other and trade resources and see who's got the better leftovers. Goblins is going to get the better of that game way more often than Miracles. You need something with flying or something else to just close out the game quickly and validate their extra cards.
Trashmaster's going to show up. Here's a copy of Relic of Progenitus post-combat. Hardcast Force will take care of that.
Yeah, you can't force anything else.
Nope. So we're going to go back over to Daniel Miller. This will be a Portent. Terminus among these cards. Again, Swords of Plowshares, not Terminus among these cards.
Yeah, Snapcaster, Plow, and Brainstorm, I think.
Brainstorm, yeah. All right, delayed cantrip, draw a card. Let's go back over to Alexander Barker, who is in the lead here, to say the least. War Chief. Matron.
So much extra stuff.
It's Goblin's back. Don't make me do this. Even though I kind of want to do this.
Turn me back to the old me.
It's been like 7 or 8 years.
Stink Scourger, yes. The one Stink Scourger.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bounce that token and Echo.
And it has haste.
And haste. And it only costs 1.
And it's a 3/3 because of the Trash Master.
Combos on combos on combos. What do you think about this? Brainstorm in hand. That's fine. Old Stingy. 3 cards coming, 2 going back. Snapcaster and Swords among those cards. Looks like the third one is Force of Will. Old Stingy Sting.
You're feeling it.
I'm kind of into it. It's kind of hard not to be into it. It actually looks kind of good again. Plus, it just beats the crap out of these control decks.
Yeah.
Grixis Control, a deck I can never beat with humans. No one's playing Engineered Plague or anything.
No Tividar's Crusade.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. Sabo's Decree.
It's expensive.
Yeah. All right, bounce that thing. Barker's trying to decide exactly how he wants to attack, because at this point, the only thing you have to really consider is Snapcaster Mage, I think.
And even that's just, you know there's not a Terminus floating in the top 3. You would have seen that. I suppose it could have been the third one down, but still, let him trade off some stuff. He still takes a ton, and he's on a draw to Terminus or bust.
Get that off the screen. Get that out of here. That's not showing up this game. You hear me? Get that out of here. Swords of Plowshares. Killing Trash Papa. That's gone. All these goblins get a little bit smaller. I would not block the Sting Scourger.
No. It doesn't have any abilities. It also has Echo.
Yes. 2, 3, 4 damage will come through. War Chief down. Back to Daniel Miller. After a vile post-combat from Alexander Barker. We're in turns. Turn 1 is Daniel Miller. Can he hold on? Can he make it to a draw? Because he can't win.
Yep.
He cannot. The goblins are too powerful. 6-0, 6-0, 6-0.